Before we get into today's episode, here's a look at a show we think you might like.
Cybertopia is back, and it's going punk. And after the Corpos threw them under the bus, our former Amazing Corps agents are trying to make sense of it all and find their place in the world once more.
Last thing I remember, the op was going fine, and then everything exploded.
So, it's time to recover.
I mean, hey, so far I've been hungover, beaten up, stole food, had an hour and a half hike, drugged myself half to death, got zapped half back to life. Everything's fine.
Rebuild.
Well, I could dispense eggs again, but the lemonade dispenser is doing steak sauce.
And reconnect with friends, old and new.
Well, look what the trash brought in.
Fortunately though, not everything has been lost.
The tea dispenser still works.
Search for Cybertopia AP anywhere you find your podcasts.
Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. Mr. John, backstage at the Songbirds of Shanghai, the Limehouse lurker, the tiny childlike vampire that is plaguing Limehouse, has leapt from the corner of this hallway in your direction, bearing its very sharp fangs. What are you doing?
I would like to try and grab Lurker mid-descent and roll backwards so that I can pin it under me.
This sounds like a night move to me with vitality. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I will wind up on the bottom. I will be pinned.
Mr. John, it's worse than that. The vampire will pin you, but then leap off of your body towards the still recovering Philomena Fu and not kill her, but turn her into a vampire.
Oh no. Okay.
This is going to be a night move with vitality. This is when I ask, is Most Beloved a thing right now? I kind of feel like it is just because your actions drew the attention of the lurker.
All right. Good thing I'm wearing my silver knuckle dusters. I'm doing this neutral.
Okay, go ahead and mark that personal quarters item.
2 + 5 is 7, but my vitality is 3 now, so that's a 10.
What does this look like?
As the lurker heads toward me, I grab by the wrist and fall onto my back. I get my knees tucked up and kick it in the stomach against the wall. And as I do, I turn toward the stage door and yell, "Ow!"
You hear the thunderous sound of heavy footsteps as Al comes up the stairs. Oi, what's this then?
I got somebody you need to 86 right now.
He grabs with his big, meaty hands this tiny child by the scruff of its shirt and, boots it out the door. You hear the creature hiss as it runs down the street in search of a shady place to escape the sun. What was that child doing back here?
I think it's the bastard son of one of your dancers. I wouldn't want him disturbing their mother before showtime.
Thanks for keeping an eye out, boss.
Least I can do, friend. You, might want to tighten up a little bit of security for the next few days. You never know who might be lurking around Limehouse.
At this, he is looking at the hundreds of flower petals that have been scattered on the floor by this creature. Crushes a few of them under his boot. I think you might be right about that.
Meh. Stalkers, right?
Can't be too careful.
And I take a few more bills and put them into his hand for your trouble. Are there any intact roses?
I'd say yes.
I'd like to gather a few of those on my way out.
So you do.
And then I give Al a nod and leave.
All right, where are you off to?
I would like to head to the Dog and Whistle if there's time left in the day.
All right, you head out of the theater towards Regent's Canal Dock. Mr. Lloyd, you have, with the help of Ket, coaxed this small pixie into your circle. And as this enormous black cat sets this small winged creature down, it at first looks a little indignant, but then eyes the spread of milk and honey and bread and sits down crisscross applesauce on the ground and just digs in, like breaking off hunks of bread, mopping some of the milk up, taking some honey. Seems completely unbothered by your presence here, not really noticing or caring that you're watching.
Hello, my little lordling. Nice to see you. Sorry for the rude way in which I summoned you. I hope the food is more than enough of an apology.
Aye, it's pretty good. I don't suppose you got a wee drama, beer, something.
Rabbit pulls a very small bottle out of one of his pockets and uncorks it and sticks it down on the ground.
That's the stuff.
Knowing that you are not sworn to any court, I was hoping to get some information on the goings-on of the different powers that be. Now, I know you still have your own bindings and can't answer any question I ask, no matter how much I might want to know what on earth a clear member of the Unseelie is doing throwing a Midsummer's Fete, and more importantly, what she's doing throwing it so late in the year. I'd also like to know why the passageways have opened again after so long being shut. I'd like to know what is going on, because clearly there's something is. But I, like I said, know that you can't answer those questions for me directly, so I merely entreat you to enjoy this little feast. Leave whenever you'll want, and at that, Rabbit smudges the circle, binding the pixie in place. And if you choose to leave me with some knowledge as a parting gift, know that I will be very grateful.
Ugh, all of these questions, you can't just let me enjoy my meal.
Like I said, whatever you're willing to tell me, I will be grateful for. Eat, drink. If there's anything else I can get you, I'd be more than happy to.
I didn't know why you can't just do all this looking about yourself, all this asking questions yourself. It's not like it's hard to find information about the lady.
Well, like I said, the courts sort of give you free rein to go where you will, you and your folk, being tied to the land as you are, being important to them for other reasons. I don't quite have that freedom that you do, my little friend.
Well, as far as the party, I'm sure you know that the Seelie and the Unseelie aren't exactly, well, friendly.
It's a tense piece last time I was there.
Aye, and it's only gotten more unsettled, I'd say. When was the last time you walked the road?
It's been several years.
Several years here, mate?
Yes. Sorry, of course.
Well, I'd say that the seamstress is throwing a party and calling it Midsummer as a jab at the summer court.
An ill omen indeed.
Well, boss, if you're so big and so blind that you can't find information for yourself, I suppose I could do you a favour. This is awful good honey after all, and very good beer. I suppose I could fly around, see what I could find, hand it back to you.
Like I said, whatever help you're willing to give, I appreciate.
Well, like I said, this is awfully good bread. Now tell me, why haven't you been able to find any of this information for yourself? You've been looking awful tired. When was the last time you dreamed?
It's been several years, as I suspect you know.
I could help with that, if you'd like a little rest, a little lie down while I fly about.
Rabbit is really very torn in this moment. Like, this is a big temptation. Like I said, he has not dreamed in years. But him dreaming could also be a dangerous thing, not just for him, but also for the residents of Hargrave House. However, in this moment, I don't think he is strong enough to resist. All right, then. I'll take what you've got.
All right, master. Have a nice little lie down while I fly about.
This little pixie reaches into its pouch and blows some dust across your face, and you feel your eyes growing heavy as your body slumps to the ground. Mr. Lloyd, you dream a very odd dream. Indeed, a dream that is only possible if you have the cosmic passage marked. You dream of the Middle Ages in Britain, of a dark feasting hall, seated at the head of the table in a silver throne dotted with sapphires is Theodora Brathwaite. She wears a fiery crown atop her head, and as she sips from a silver goblet, she has a book of knowledge pressed to her breast. That is a mastermind clue, only available to a hunter with the cosmic passage.
If I may make one slight change to that dream that I don't think will affect its nature as a clue.
Of course you may.
In addition to Rabbit being there and Mrs. Brathwaite being there is a third figure, largely unseen, except for a pair of eyes, almost pitch dark, but with a faint glimmer in them, as though starlight reflected from distant galaxies, stare intently at Rabbit. For the first time in several years, he has entered her realm again.
Miss Douglas, still in the shop of Hazel Beaumont, Miss Beaumont admires the very fine work that she has done on your pelt. She has even straightened up the haphazard silver stitches that you put into the garment initially.
Well, my little creature, there's still work yet to be done, but I do say it's looking much better, wouldn't you?
I thoroughly appreciate the masterful work that you've done.
And I fully appreciate all of the very good help that you'll do for me, dear girl. Of course you may have a guest at my party.
I hope you like him. He sings beautifully.
Oh, entertainment. Lovely. We will have so many diverting offerings tonight.
May I know what else there is in store?
I think the surprise will be worth it, dear. Don't worry your pretty head about it. I've got everything under control.
I feel that you often do.
Have fun. I look forward to meeting your friend.
Thank you once again for granting me this boon.
I promise you, dear, the boon you've granted me is far greater.
Maisie is so unsettled. She doesn't know. She knows that she did probably the wrong thing.
She did a whoopsie.
And she's just trying to keep it together to be this is exactly what I wanted. Yes. Okay, great.
And you are led out of the shop. Where to now?
Maisie's going to recoup back at Hargrave House to meet up with Ina and do their original plan of going to Cremorne Gardens.
Ina has taken the box with the corset and gloves and has gone up to her chambers. She knows Maisie is going to come around at some point, so she's left the door open to come into the seating area. And whenever Maisie finds her way up there, Ina is just sitting in a large chair working on that spidery needlepoint that she was working on a few weeks ago, but it has grown and changed and it looks more complete.
Maisie stops at her room to leave her pelt because she doesn't want to talk about this right now. It's too much. And she just pokes her head in through Ina's door. Ina, shall we go to Cremorne Gardens?
Yes, my little pearl. Where have you been? Did you have a busy morning?
No. Just thinking about the proper channels to approach the other folk and not wanting to step on any toes at the masquerade.
Very wise. She sets down the needlepoint. Ina fully clocked that it was a lie, that no had a very particular tone that she's come to expect from Maisie. But she doesn't say anything considering what she's been up to this morning.
Yeah.
So she just sets her needlepoint down, stands, grabs her jacket off of the back of the chair, starts to put it on, and walk towards the door. Shall we go then?
Right. Yes. Let's.
She just pats her on the shoulder and walks past her and leads her down the stairs to go out to the carriage.
All right, and off to Cremorne Gardens you go. The gardens are once again full of pleasure seekers, though very few of them are congregating at the dancing platform or dining in the feasting hall. Instead, they are just lining the promenade and looking out into Chelsea Harbor. Everyone is still breathless and tense about any sighting of the creature of Cremorne Gardens.
Maisie makes her way to an area that's a bit more sparse, there's fewer people, and make sure no one's looking as she vaults over the railing and gets down into the sand.
You hop the railing. I think it's there's so many people that no one is really keeping an eye on any particular girl, and you find a little shadowy place where you can just quietly do that and go run behind some rocks or the dock or what have you. Miss Thanero, as Miss Douglas hops this railing, what are you up to?
Ina is not going to hop the railing. Ina's going to just keep one eye on Maisie from a distance. It's not really her beat to jump down into the sand.
Not in those shoes.
But I am looking for maybe some stalls to do a brief bit of shopping in. So would there be a place here at Cremorne Gardens where I could hunt for some wares? I'm looking for a gift specifically for Mistress Beaumont for the masquerade.
So yeah, actually at this time, the Chelsea market would have functioned much like a farmer's market as the neighborhood was sort of transitioning from being largely rural to more suburban and more middle class. It was a place where like people could go from the deeper parts of the city and get fresh farm goods.
I love that. So would I be able to find some wool in this market, do we think?
Without a doubt, you would be able to.
Excellent. Then I want to find, it does not have to be fancy. My intention is to find the most mundane, boring wool that I can find, because this woman sews with starlight and impossible materials. So there's a bit of a challenge in sewing with something so boring when you're used to sewing with something so fine.
Okay, all right. A very interesting gift for Mistress Beaumont, but you have secured your package. While you are at this little stall, Miss Thanero, you're noticing a bit of a police presence around Cremorne Gardens, quote unquote, keeping the peace and making sure that this influx of people at Cremorne Gardens does not dissolve into a riot or any sort of hysteria. And among these men is a gentleman that you recognize, the mustachioed, tweed-suited detective, Inspector Pettigrew.
Oh, good. I think Ina, seeing him and seeing the police presence, she does a sweep to see where these men are lurking, looks back towards the spot where Maisie jumped down and notices that Detective Pettigrew is eyeing that spot with particular interest and starts to just very casually make her way back over there to make sure that Maisie is protected from this man having already had the encounter we had with him.
Yes, the Witch of the Harbor herself. Let's check in on her. Maisie, what are you up to?
Maisie is kneeling in the sand, holding her conch shell that sounds like the actual ocean. It's a very reverent position where she's like facing the water, holding this shell in both hands, and is just whispering into it. And she just says, "Mr. Fishman, I would like to kindly extend an invitation to the Midsummer Masquerade that we've been invited to. If you would be ever so kind as to be my date, I would want nothing more in this world. If you're not busy, I know you have, I'm sure, fish things to do, and you're not, I don't know what you're doing. You really only ever come out every once in a while, and I haven't seen you, I've only heard you. This is getting long. I'm so sorry. Please come. Here's where you should go," and then whispers wherever it is that we're supposed to go, because Maisie doesn't even really know. She just says, you'll know it when you find it. Just please come. And then places the shell like into the surf to be washed out to sea.
So here's the thing, Miss Douglas. Ordinarily, I would say that this was a day move at the very least to try to get the attention of this creature. But we have already answered the question concerning what the creature wants. And what the creature wants is contact with you. So I don't think that there is a role that is necessary here. You set this conch shell into the surf. It sinks below the waves. A few moments pass. Another moment passes. And then you see a scaled shape rise out of the water.
Maisie is in a panic because she's like, "Oh no, all of the people who are here are gonna see him." And she just whisper shouts at the water, "Don't come out now! Now's not a good time! Later, tonight, when we're going to the masquerade, God, please no!"
This creature reaches out and grabs your ankle and pulls you into the water.
Maisie yelps and, goes with it, because what's she gonna do? But just sort of throws a little thing at Ina like, "Ina!"
Let's go to the dog and whistle. Mr. John, you make your way to this very salty, grimy pub on Regent's Canal Dock. It has dull brass fixtures. Very prominent in this bar is a painting of a dog. Inexplicably, no whistle. I have a paint the scene for you all here as Mr. John is making his way into this pub. This pub caters to sailors and folk who work at the canal. How do you know this?
So if you walk in, the bar is on your right, there are seats on your left. It's fairly cramped, but the far wall is the main focal point of decoration, and there is a mural of an old nautical chart from the dawn of this empire of ships, and it is complete with writing in the middle of where the Americas would be that say, "Here there be monsters."
I think at the edge of the bar, we see a large wooden barrel. And in the top of this barrel, easy access for the kitchen staff, are oysters.
While the bar itself serves a variety of drinks, from the mixture of cheap rum, sugar, and lime juice that the sailors are used to some more moderately expensive whiskeys, they're all served in simple copper mugs.
There are ships and bottles decorating the entire bar, but every single one of them is an actual ship that actually stops in the harbor here.
I love that.
I would say that the bar is fairly empty as you're walking in. There is a man standing at the bar wearing a black apron. He's got very hairy arms, a perpetually sweaty forehead. There is a small old woman that's kind of like wrapped in like a blanket that's like a barfly just hanging onto the edge of the bar, and a couple other sailors that are in this pub, but otherwise it's fairly quiet here at this time of day.
Afternoon, friend.
What can I do you for?
Nothing at the moment. I'm waiting on a friend of mine. He's a regular here, suggested the place. I ain't never been. Chow Dong Ai told me to meet him here a few days ago. We had a regular rendezvous. The last one was close to my home. We figured we'd do one close to his this time.
The man leans over the bar close to you. I think you absorb in that moment just how large of a man this is, and he is trying to make that very clear. Now, you wouldn't be with the police, are you, son?
The only time I'm ever with the police is when I'm in their custody.
Have you been talking to Ms. Jenny Johnston?
Jenny was a friend of mine.
Friend of mine as well.
So we're on the same page here.
Aye, and so you'll understand why Ms. Johnston and I are trying to keep Chow Dong Hai and everyone else a bit quiet.
You have a better place that we can talk then? Something more secluded?
Why don't you come meet me in the back?
I turn around as I'm going to the other door to make sure I'm not being followed. I've been let my guard down one too many times on these hunts. I'm starting to get paranoid. I'm cocky, but I'm still paranoid. Great combination.
Mr. John, the proprietor of this bar, a Mr. Horsford, leads you into his very dingy little office. That's being very charitable. It's basically a storage room. Sorry for the cloak and dagger. We've been having some officers that have been poking their nose about, trying to make trouble for the people of Limehouse.
I understand entirely, and I'm not trying to make trouble for the people of Limehouse, quite the opposite. I've got some ties to this neighborhood, but I trust you'll understand why I had to give you the false impression that I was here looking for someone alive.
Of course, though if you keep repeating that name, there's a sailor here who's been asking very much the same thing, a Lin Bo Hai.
What do you know about him?
Good fella, young. He was a friend and shipmate of Mr. Dong Hai. Their ship is set to sail in a week.
Any idea where he usually frequents?
Oh, I imagine you'd be able to find him around Regent's Canal Dock, especially if you go around loudly talking about Chow Dong Hai. He'd be happy to talk to you about him. He seems very keen on finding out exactly what happened to his friend, and you understand why I'm keen to try to keep that quiet.
That I do. My docket's rather full today, so I'll pay him a visit later. If there's anything you can tell me while I'm here about Chow and the manner of his death.
Mr. John, go ahead and roll the information move with presence.
6 and 5 is 11, plus 2 is 13.
2 mastermind clues in one day.
Go.
Let's go.
Okay. Mr. Lloyd, you feel tiny hands about the collar of your shirt that are gently shaking you, a little small hand slapping you across the face.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Hello, yes, I'm awake.
Well, it does seem as though it's been a while since you dreamed. You're hard to rouse.
It's hard to leave that realm.
Was it a nice one?
An informative one.
I prefer the fun ones myself, but you do you, I suppose. I found something for you.
And what is that, my little friend?
I suppose you didn't mind if I borrowed your wee beastie? He's able to carry things that I quite don't have the strength for.
Morgan looks over at Ket.
Ket is holding a letter in his cute little mouth.
Rabbit takes that from him gently and holds it up to see, has it been opened? Is there writing on the outside of it?
The letter is not even in an envelope. It looks as though this was swiped very shortly after it was written. It is a letter that appears to be calling off an engagement to a young woman. No real reasoning is given as to why this young man has changed his feelings. He just writes simply, "I regret that no worldly explanation could suffice." That letter is a clue for the spider silk seamstress.
Well, I flew over and I saw the seamstress. She was entertaining a gentleman. He had feathery hair, fine clothes, but after their little, meeting,
and the pixie sort of waggles his eyebrows at you.
She setting up at a desk, handed him a piece of paper and a pen. He wrote it himself, but, she was telling him what to say.
I thank you most gratefully for everything you've done for me today. And should you feel the need to call on me in the future, I would be more than happy to give you more to eat and drink.
Well, you know how to find me. Or rather, your beastie does.
And he gives Ket a sort of tentative scritch, considering the size and the power of this creature, and then flits away.
Right then, Pet. I think we've got some things to talk about with the rest of the fellas back at the house. Maybe we should head back there. And Rabbit gives Ket a scritch, and they both head back towards Hargrave.
Miss Thanero, I think maybe you caught out of the corner of your eye some finned hand grab Maisie by the ankle and pull her into the water.
Ina just watches Maisie slowly sink beneath the waves. And if this were any other person, she might be concerned, but she knows Maisie is interested in this fishman and Maisie can swim. So Ina's not too concerned. If there's ever a place that Maisie is capable of handling herself, it is in the water. So Ina just kind of stands at the railing, still kind of head on a swivel, trying to see if this incident draws the attention of any of the police presence that is around. So if she needs to intervene, she can.
Maisie's little yelp of surprise and her call for you does catch the attention of D.I. Pettigrew, who starts leaning over the railing.
Sounded like there was a person down there.
I've been standing here for a while and I saw nothing.
Well, madam, respectfully, you do not have the trained senses of a member of the Queen's police.
That certainly doesn't sound respectful, detective.
Pardon, mistress. I just mean that I've got years of experience. Ladies do better to focus on, flowers or fine clothes, not matters of public safety.
You called me mistress, and yet you would dare disrespect your mistress in this way in so public a place?
Cass, this does sound like you're setting up Giveth.
Yes, I am setting up Giveth for this fucking cop.
On D.I. Pettigrew.
Absolutely. I don't like this guy.
The move reads, at any time you can declare that a side character is secretly one of your worshippers. Describe how the side character subtly or not so subtly debases themselves before you in the scene, and then scar your reflection. So what all is happening with Detective Inspector Pettigrew?
I think after Ina has scolded him for how he has spoken to her in front of all of these people, he immediately drops to his knees, and there's a lot of people around. Drops to his knees in front of Ina and starts tearing his uniform off, and then presses his forehead into the ground in front of her and averts his eyes, stays there for a moment, and then slowly raises his head, still not looking at her, and brings it back to the ground faster this time. And he starts to repeat this over and over and over until he is at a feverish rhythm, smashing his face into the pavement. He's whispering a prayer as he does this, proclaiming himself unworthy of reason unless she blesses him with thought. Ina is standing there, stoic, eyes bright gold at this moment as this man does this in front of her. And then she just quietly says, "Stop." And when he pulls his face back up off of the ground after he has flagellated himself in front of her, his nose is crushed and his forehead has a giant, crater that is sending blood cascading into his eyes, temporarily blinding him.
Wow, that sounds worthy of a scarred reflection if I've ever heard it.
I believe you are correct.
How does the masterwork change?
We see a third eye open on Ina's forehead in the painting, with blood trickling down, making it look as if the reflection is crying tears of blood.
The debased DI Pettigrew is whimpering at your feet. His fingers are reaching out, trying to clutch at and kiss the hem of your skirt. Forgive me, I was merely trying to protect your anonymity, goddess.
Ina steps back from him, out of reach of his hands, looking absolutely disgusted. You are not forgiven at this time, but there is a way to re-earn my favor.
Anything, mistress?
Ina reaches into the small bag that she's carrying with her and produces the Lloyd knife of Sally No Face. She tosses it, catches the handle, still looking at Detective Pettigrew, and then flips it one more time and catches it by the blade and hands him the handle. You will take this blade, and you will see yourself to Limehouse. You will look at no one. You will terrorize no one. And you will find what they call the Limehouse lurker. And upon finding them, you shall slit a wrist in front of them and submit to their will.
Yes, of course, mistress. Is a wrist enough? I could do a throat.
A wrist will suffice. I do still need you.
It will be done.
As I expect. Now get out of here. I do not wish to look at you anymore.
Detective Inspector Pettigrew pockets the knife, rises, gives you several quick bows, and then runs with speed out of Cremorne Gardens towards Limehouse. Let's go elsewhere in Cremorne Gardens. Maisie Douglas, you are pulled with surprising force through the waters of Chelsea Harbor, and then you surface beneath a dock, safe from prying eyes. And rising out of the water is this fish-like creature. He has very large, very black eyes. His skin is covered in mottled green scales. He's got gills on his neck, and he looks at you, and you see his mouth trying to work as if he is still trying to understand how it is one produces the English language. Maisie.
Maisie hasn't been in the water, not in seal form, in over a year. And so part of her is very scared, but she's also incredibly relieved to be re-experiencing this. And then to re-emerge and have the fishman say her name. She is bawling, but smiling. And she thinks this might be confusing for the fish.
The creature reaches out with its webbed fingers and thumbs one of your tears. Maisie, sad.
No, I mean, yes, but also no, I'm incredibly happy and also sad. It's not bad, though. Sad can be a good thing.
And he reaches out for one of your hands. Good thing.
Maisie takes his hand and grips it so hard, but also it's slimy, so it's kind of hard and keeps sliding out of her hand. What is your name?
At this query, the creature's brow furrows, its eyes kind of narrow in confusion. No name. Maisie name.
You don't have a name?
No.
Can I call you Merlin?
Merlin. Yes. Merlin, yes.
Merlin. Did you receive my invitation?
Yes. You received Pearl for Maisie.
I did. It was beautiful. Thank you so much for it.
Party.
Yes, we're going to a party. Do you like to dance? Because I love to dance.
Like watching Maisie dance.
Well, it's way more fun when you dance with me. I'll show you. You don't have to know anything at all. I've already shown John how to dance, and he doesn't know anything at all. You'll be so much better than him.
Yes, dance. Dance with Maisie.
Yes, dance with Maisie. I'm so thrilled. You really shouldn't be out. There's so many people here who are trying to find you. I mean, I was trying to find you, so I appreciate you finding me, I suppose. But I don't want you to get in trouble.
I'm strong and fast. No trouble.
All right, Merlin. You sing really well. I heard your song one night, and it was gorgeous.
Sing about Maisie.
You're singing about me.
Saw you change.
Yes, I'm not this all the time.
You are from water.
I am. Not like you exactly, but I also have been sometimes.
Tonight, Maisie.
I'll come get you, and we'll go together.
Yes.
Maisie holds both of his hands, treading water, and then pulls him under with her and sort of swims around him, so they do a fun little underwater swimmy moment.
Yeah.
Kisses him delicately on the cheek and sort of waves goodbye and swims back to shore. Maisie reemerges up to where Ina is, just absolutely soaking wet. The biggest smile on her face.
Yeah, dog.
Ina, he got my invitation and he's coming to the party!
Ina has gotten a towel or a large piece of fabric from one of these vendors while she's been she was looking for something to wipe her hands off after her interaction with D.I. Pettigrew, and tosses Maisie this piece of fabric. Dry yourself off, dear. I can't wait to meet him. As if nothing happened, as if she did not just smash a man's face into the pavement, just completely nonchalant and very excited for Maisie's date night out.
Fantastic. Back to Hargrave House, the two of you go. Mr. John.
Well, I saw both sailors come into the Dog and Whistle. They were fine, nicely behaved boys, telling me all about their adventures. I didn't find the body until the next morning when I was opening up. He was back behind the building, pale, bloodless. I found something next to him. It was a Bible, but a torn one. Here, look.
You still have it?
I do, sir. And he rummages through some of the crates back here and pulls out a small Bible. But there seems to be a large chunk missing, as if some particular pages have been ripped out.
Would I have any idea what book that might be?
It seems as though the pages that have been ripped out are the pages that concern the story of Noah and the Ark and the Great Flood. That is a clue for the Limehouse lurker.
I know the Bible has written all these and thous, but would there be any indication if this is a recent edition of the Bible or if it's from an older era?
I would say that would be some excellent context that you could put forward to help answer the question in either direction of your choosing.
Cool. Mind if I take this with me, friend? It might be useful in the investigation.
Of course not, sir. If you're a friend of Jenny Johnston's, then I trust you to see this through.
I pocket the Bible in my interior lapel pocket, I got something for you pocket, and thank him for his time, tip my hat. You'll forgive me, it's a little early in the day for me to be patronizing your business, but I'll just slip out the back if it's all the same to you.
Mr. John, as you leave, a young man catches your notice. He looks to be about 17 or 18. He is dressed in dark clothes, and he is writing in a notebook and glancing up at you.
Can I help you, friend?
The young man runs.
I chase him.
Easily done. You are older and stronger and faster, and you tackle this young man.
Look, it wasn't meaning any trouble, sir.
And yet you found me.
I was paid a lot of money to follow you, see where it was you were going.
By whom?
It was a man, sir.
You could have said a number of things to me, boy, and that would not have been something I expected you to say.
I don't know his name, sir. He's a shoemaker. Well, more than that.
What more than that? If you don't have a name, you gotta give me something better.
Employs a couple boys around town to keep the peace for him, look out things for him. He's got a wealthy benefactress. He does. Dresses all in blue.
That catches my attention, and I stand up and put my boot on the side of this boy's face and press it a little bit further into the mud. I'm gonna need a shop, a location. I'm gonna need something to go on.
Here, sir, take the notebook. The notebook, sir. Just let me go.
I grab the notebook, and with my boot still on his face, thumb through it to see if there's anything relevant. And specifically, I want to see if he has been following me where I sleep, if he knows about Hargrave House, if he's been tracking my locations as I've been on the run.
You thumb through this little notebook and you see your activities today written in one set of handwriting, your activities of the last week in another set of handwriting, farther back. This appears to be a little journal that has been passed around through numerous hands, all keeping an eye on your activities, your whereabouts, where you are going, where you are sleeping, who you are talking to. This is a mastermind clue. Evidence that a hunter that is most beloved is central to Mrs. Brathwaite's plans.
When does it start? With my arrival in London? With my employment beginning for Hargrave?
I, as the GM, I only know what it is that you've told me, so I think it's safe to say it starts with your employment in Hargrave House.
Okay. Is this your first day tailing me, son?
It is, sir.
See to it it's your last. Keep that tail tucked between your legs. And I take my boot off, kick him in the side, and then leave.
The boy speeds down the canal dock.
I go to put the notebook into my jacket pocket, realize the Bible's already there, and I just carry it in one hand on the way back. Do I see anybody else as I return to Hargrave House for the first time in several weeks?
I mean, I would imagine that you would see Miss Douglas and Miss Thanero exiting their carriage. Miss Douglas absolutely sopping wet.
I do that thing animals do when they realize they're not alone, where I just get very, very still.
Ina looks down the sidewalk, not expecting to see Mr. John, and is almost startled, but then realizes that he is standing stock still. Have you turned into a statue, dear, or are you planning to come inside for once?
Need a change of clothes. And you can see, covered in mud, shit, muck of the Thames, just absolute sweat stains. It's a mess.
I'd say you need a bit more than that. Come. And she beckons Mr. John to come with her and starts walking up the stairs to her quarters.
John follows and looks at Maisie, gives her a nod.
Hi, John. Welcome back.
Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join our favorite colony of feral cats, our Kitten Marlowe patrons, in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.